$17 for 3 Filet-O-Fishes at McDonald's? Are you kidding me?
Now everything's got to be so expensive, and I got to look at my bank account every time I go get some McDonald's.
Get ready for a big change. Many of the most familiar fast food brands in America are on the brink of collapse, and some may completely disappear by the end of 2025. We're not talking about small local diners or forgotten food trucks. We're talking about icons that defined an entire generation: Subway, Boston Market, Checkers, and even giants like Hardee's and Popeyes. A rapid extinction is unfolding in the world of fast food. What used to be an affordable dinner, a first part-time job, or a community gathering spot after work is now being priced out, redesigned, and replaced. The franchise model is outdated. Customers are walking away, and Gen Z isn't coming back. If you think you'll still be ordering that foot-long next year or grabbing fried chicken at the end of your block, think again. Hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe. We expose the fall of America's biggest brands before they disappear for good. Pizza Hut. If you grew up in the 1980s or 90s, Pizza Hut wasn't just a place to eat, it was an experience. Red vinyl booths, stained glass lamps, the scent of pan pizza wafting through the air, and book it. Reward coupons made it a family favorite. But that nostalgic empire is crumbling fast. From 2017 to the end of 2024, Pizza Hut closed more than 1,500 locations across the United States. The decline is especially sharp in Midwestern and Northeastern states like Ohio, Michigan, and Pennsylvania regions, where Pizza Hut was once a household staple. What's left? Mostly scattered takeout and delivery-only locations, stripped of the dining experience that once made it special. The cause of failure to adapt: Pizza Hut has clung to a confused hybrid model, half dine-in, half delivery, without mastering either. Meanwhile, Domino's has surged ahead with seamless online ordering, blazing fast delivery, and a tech-savvy infrastructure. Little Caesars undercut everyone on price and speed, and M.O.'d Pizza and Blaze Pizza arrived with a Chipotle-style build-your-own approach that allows Gen Z and millennials to customize fresh pies in minutes. Pizza Hut, by contrast, offers the same pan pizza and stuffed crust it always has, but without the innovation or pricing power to compete. Their menu is aging, their promotions are recycled, and in many areas, their stores feel like abandoned time capsules with flickering lights, dated signage, and empty parking lots. Worse still, operating costs are killing them. Large dine-in stores require higher rent, more staff, and longer cook times, all of which eat into profit margins. And as families increasingly opt for cheaper or trendier alternatives, Pizza Hut is left struggling to justify its existence. It used to be the go-to for family dinners, birthday parties, and school celebrations. Now, Pizza Hut is the last resort when everything else is closed. The next one on our list might just shock you even more. Burger King used to be the second choice after McDonald's, but in 2025, it's barely even an option. For decades, Burger King played the role of the scrappy underdog, the rebel brand with flame-grilled burgers and the iconic "Have it your way" slogan. But in 2025, that flame is flickering fast. The numbers are hard to ignore. In the past 2 years alone, Burger King has shut down more than 400 locations across the United States, with the steepest declines reported in southern and Midwestern states. Some stores have seen sales drop by up to 30%, forcing mass layoffs and corporate restructuring. But this isn't just a matter of location, it's a matter of relevance. The Whopper, once the brand's hero product, hasn't changed in over a decade. In an era where consumers crave creativity, seasonal menus, limited-time specials, plant-based options, Burger King is stuck in neutral. Their menu feels like a rerun, and today's diners are tuning out. Fast casual competitors like Five Guys Smashburger and Shake Shack are offering a fresher, more premium burger experience. Even Wendy's has outpaced Burger King in customer loyalty and innovation. Walk into many Burger King locations today, and you'll see the real problem. Dim yellow lighting, outdated decor, and dining rooms that feel like time capsules from 2007. There's little ambiance, no energy, and for younger customers, no reason to stay. The vibe isn't nostalgic, it's tired. The customer service also varies wildly from one location to another, which damages brand consistency. Inconsistent food quality, long wait times, and indifferent employees are now common complaints online. And with no major national marketing push in recent years, Burger King isn't just losing customers, it's fading from memory. Perhaps the saddest part: the brand doesn't seem to be fighting back. There's no major innovation campaign, no loyalty program reboot, no compelling pitch to win back the public. Just a slow, quiet retreat from the market it once dominated. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into today's biggest industry shifts. Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen was never just about food, it was about moments. A cone after school, a blizzard on a summer road trip, a family treat on a lazy Sunday. For millions of Americans, it symbolized joy, nostalgia, and childhood simplicity. But in 2025, those memories are melting faster than the soft serve. Over the last 3 years, more than 300 Dairy Queen stores have closed across the United States. The decline has been steepest in the Midwest and South, where the chain once held strong cultural significance. In these core regions, customer foot traffic has dropped nearly 25%, according to franchisee reports. What happened? The answer is simple. Dairy Queen didn't keep up. While competitors like Baskin-Robbins Cold Stone and even fast casual dessert bars rolled out plant-based ice creams, oat milk shakes, and trendy frozen yogurt, DQ stayed loyal to its decades-old menu. That loyalty is costing them. In the age of personalization and wellness, Gen Z consumers are walking right past Dairy Queen. The classic Dilly Bar and Peanut Butter Parfait don't appeal to a generation raised on Instagram aesthetics and food transparency. Meanwhile, the stores themselves feel outdated, harsh fluorescent lights, stiff booths, and no modern upgrades to the dining experience. Add in high operating costs, increasing rent, and rising ingredient prices, and it's no surprise that franchisees are struggling to stay afloat. For many, it's cheaper to shut down entirely than try to compete. Dairy Queen still has diehard fans, but the cultural magic is fading. Without innovation, it risks becoming a footnote in the fast food story it once helped write. Hardee's. For many Americans, especially in small towns across the South and Midwest, Hardee's was once a staple. Known for its oversized burgers, biscuit breakfasts, and bold ad campaigns, the chain stood out as a slightly more premium alternative to fast food's usual suspects. But in 2025, Hardee's is quietly fading away, with few noticing and even fewer caring. Over the past 5 years, Hardee's has closed more than 200 locations, a significant drop for a brand that already had a limited geographic footprint. Many of the closures are in rural towns where Hardee's was often one of the only fast food options available. But even in its core markets, foot traffic is thinning. Part of the issue is brand confusion. After being merged with Carl's Jr., the company has struggled to unify its identity, especially in regions where Carl's Jr. has little to no presence. The result? Mixed marketing, inconsistent menus, and customer confusion over what the brand stands for. While Hardee's has experimented with new menu items like monster burgers and loaded breakfast biscuits, these efforts haven't been enough to pull customers away from healthier, faster, or more consistent alternatives. Many stores still feel dated, with aging interiors, slow service, and little investment in modernization or technology. Moreover, as Chick-fil-A and Shake Shack expand aggressively and regional chains like Cookout and Bojangles gain popularity, Hardee's feels like it's being left behind. Even die-hard fans now admit the food is expensive for what it is, and without nostalgia driving visits, there's no compelling reason to return. These brands didn't just sell food, they sold memories, routines, and a piece of American culture. But in 2025, that legacy is crumbling. Whether it's skyrocketing prices, outdated menus, or losing touch with younger generations, these fast food chains are collapsing under the weight of their own history. Are they gone for good, or is there still time for a comeback? Let us know in the comments. Which of these brands do you still visit, and which ones have you left behind? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Huge Battle, where we uncover the truth behind the rise and fall of America's biggest industries. Popeyes. In 2019, Popeyes went viral. Their spicy chicken sandwich ignited a national craze, with long lines, sold-out signs, and even fights in parking lots. For a moment, it looked like Popeyes had leapfrogged every other chicken chain in America. But in 2025, that hype has cooled, and the fall from the top has been just as dramatic as the rise. Since reaching peak revenue in 2020, Popeyes has lost nearly 18% of its core customer base. Over the past 3 years, more than 200 stores have either closed or become financially stagnant, particularly in the working-class neighborhoods that once formed its loyal foundation. What went wrong? It starts with over-reliance on a single product. After the chicken sandwich frenzy, the brand failed to follow up with meaningful menu innovation. Consumers who returned expecting new favorites found the same limited offerings, and many moved on to other options. Meanwhile, the in-store experience began to fall apart. Long wait times, cold food, missing items, and inconsistent service became regular complaints. Frustrated customers turned to social media, where Popeyes once thrived, to now air their grievances. TikTok and Reddit are filled with posts showcasing disorganized kitchens, poor packaging, and disappointing meals. Rising prices haven't helped. A combo meal that cost $7 in 2020 now exceeds $11 or more in many locations. And with Chick-fil-A offering faster, friendlier service, and Raising Cane's gaining momentum with a simplified, high-quality menu, Popeyes is finding itself squeezed on both sides. Behind-the-scenes franchise tensions and operational strain have grown. Some operators report being unable to keep up with corporate expectations, while others cite issues with product sourcing and staffing shortages. Popeyes was once the go-to spot for fast, flavorful comfort food. Now it's become a cautionary tale about how viral success can't replace long-term strategy. Hold on, because the downfall we're about to reveal might hit closer to home than you expect. KFC. Few brands are as instantly recognizable as KFC. The image of Colonel Sanders, the iconic red bucket, and the promise of 11 secret herbs and spices made KFC a cornerstone of American fast food for generations. But into 5, the king of fried chicken is quietly retreating from the battlefield, and most people haven't even noticed. Between 2021 and 2024, KFC closed over 500 U.S. locations, a sharp decline in a market it once dominated. The impact is especially visible in New York, California, and Illinois, where store counts and customer visits have dropped dramatically. In some urban areas, sales are down 20% according to Yum Brand's latest filings. The problem isn't the food, it's everything else. While competitors like Chick-fil-A constantly roll out new products and Raising Cane's captures attention with its simplified, high-quality menu, KFC feels frozen in time. The combo boxes haven't changed in years: fried chicken, mashed potatoes, a biscuit, and a cookie. And customers are getting tired of it. Even the atmosphere is part of the decline. Many KFC stores feature aged interiors, fluorescent lighting, plastic chairs, and a cold, empty vibe that drives modern consumers away. It doesn't help that prices have climbed. A 2-piece combo with sides, once a staple at $6.99, now runs $11 to $13 in most states, too expensive for budget-conscious families, but not appealing enough to compete with fast, casual chains. Online reviews increasingly mention long wait times, inconsistent portions, and declining quality. And unlike its competitors, KFC hasn't launched any meaningful tech upgrades. There's no standout app experience, no buzzy social media presence, no reason for Gen Z to even look their way. Once a weekend treat after church or a take-home dinner for tired parents, KFC is now just another overpriced option in a crowded market. The brand hasn't just lost momentum, it's lost connection. And just when you thought the decline couldn't get worse, this happens. McDonald's. In 2025, the once undisputed king of fast food is showing signs of collapse. By the end of 2024, McDonald's had quietly shut down more than 500 locations across the United States, with a disproportionate number of closures in low- and middle-income communities, the very neighborhoods that once fueled its global dominance. According to McDonald's own Q4 investor report, these closures were a cost-cutting response to declining foot traffic and profitability. What's driving the downfall? Start with the price. A Big Mac combo now costs between $13 and $15 in many states, up nearly 40% from pre-pandemic pricing.
Broadly speaking, sales are performing much stronger than foot traffic, and that's due in part to higher prices.
That's no longer the affordable comfort food for a working-class family. Instead, it's a budget-breaking meal that has many longtime customers walking away for good. And younger generations aren't picking up the slack. Gen Z consumers are turning away from the Golden Arches in favor of brands like Sweet Green Chipotle and Shake Shack, places that offer transparency, personalization, and food that feels fresh. McDonald's, meanwhile, is stuck in the past, relying on outdated menus, generic flavors, and faceless ordering kiosks. Speaking of kiosks, one of McDonald's biggest recent changes is automation. Across the country, touchscreen machines are replacing frontline workers. But while the company claims it improves efficiency, the real-world result is often the opposite. Orders are slower, mistakes are more frequent, and the once friendly experience has become a cold, impersonal process that leaves many customers frustrated. The food itself isn't helping. Online reviews are packed with complaints about soggy fries, smaller sandwiches, wilted lettuce, and inconsistent quality. Customers don't feel they're getting value. And trust in the brand, once a cornerstone of McDonald's appeal, has eroded deeply. For decades, McDonald's was more than a restaurant. It was a symbol of American life, a stop after school, a late-night fix, a weekend treat with the kids. But now, it's viewed by many as overpriced, underwhelming, and out of touch. The brand still stands, but what it represents has changed forever. But if you think that was surprising, wait until you see what's next. Burger King, Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box once embraced being different. But in 2025, different isn't enough to survive. Once known as the quirky, always-open spot for late-night cravings and offbeat menu mashups, Jack in the Box has lost its spark in 2025. The chain that prided itself on serving everything from tacos to teriyaki bowls under one roof is now struggling to stay relevant in a market demanding clarity, consistency, and quality. Over the past 2 years, Jack in the Box has reported a 9% revenue decline with the sharpest drop in suburban and low-traffic urban areas. Locations that once catered to night shift workers and students are seeing fewer and fewer visitors. And in many regions, stores are either shuttered or operating on minimal staff just to cut losses. The problem, an identity crisis. While competitors like In-N-Out and Whataburger have doubled down on streamlined menus and fast service, Jack in the Box's broad offerings have become its weakness. Customers complain about inconsistent food quality, long wait times, and a menu that feels cluttered and confusing. Even loyal fans are noticing the change. Once praised for being open 24/7, many locations now close early or operate reduced hours, citing labor shortages and declining demand. Add to that dated interiors, weak mobile ordering experiences, and a brand image that hasn't evolved since the early 2000s, and Jack is falling behind. Younger customers in particular aren't connecting. Gen Z, who value minimalist branding, health-conscious choices, and social responsibility, see Jack in the Box as a chaotic remnant of an older fast food era. Stay tuned for more content that uncovers the hidden truths behind the brand's trends and systems we all rely on. Subway. There was a time when Subway felt like the cleanest option in a sea of greasy fast food. With its Eat Fresh motto, customizable sandwiches, and veggie-forward image, it won over millions of health-conscious Americans. But in 2025, Subway isn't just struggling, it's disappearing from daily life without anyone noticing. From its peak of over 27,000 U.S. locations in 2015, Subway has now dropped to around 20,000 stores by the end of 2024, and that number continues to fall every month. That's a net loss of over 7,000 locations in less than a decade, making Subway one of the most rapidly shrinking franchises in fast food history. Why the collapse? It starts with quality and perception. Consumers today are more educated and demanding than ever. They expect organic, minimally processed ingredients. Meanwhile, Subway still relies on frozen deli meats, pre-shredded cheese, and canned vegetables. What once passed as healthy now seems industrial. Even the bread has been controversial. In 2020, Ireland's Supreme Court ruled that Subway's bread contains too much sugar to legally be considered bread, a ruling that damaged its credibility across the globe. Add to that the long shadow of the Jared Fogle scandal, and the brand's reputation never fully recovered. The physical experience is just as bleak. Most Subway stores are cramped, poorly lit, and soulless. Employees are overworked, often robotic in sandwich assembly, and the portions have quietly shrunk over time. Today's sandwiches feel smaller, less satisfying, and more expensive, a deadly combination. Meanwhile, competitors have surged ahead. Chains like Jersey Mike's, Firehouse Subs, and Panera Bread offer premium meats, hot sandwich presses, and comfortable, welcoming environments. Subway, on the other hand, feels like the cheapest option that still isn't worth it. It wasn't long ago that Subway was the go-to lunch spot for office workers, students, and athletes. Today it's become an afterthought, a fading relic in the corner of a strip mall, still there, but barely. Wendy still says quality is our recipe, but in 2025 the results don't match the slogan. For years, Wendy's stood as the quiet giant, never as flashy as McDonald's or Burger King, but always reliable. Their square beef patties fresh, never frozen promise, and spicy nuggets earned them a loyal fan base across working and middle-class America. But by 2025, that trust is slipping, and so is the brand. Wendy's has reported 3 consecutive quarters of declining U.S. sales, and the outlook isn't improving. In many neighborhoods that once had 2 or 3 Wendy's stores, there's now just 1 left, and it's barely surviving. Hundreds of underperforming locations have already shuttered or are slated for closure by year-end. One major reason: rising prices without rising value. A Dave's single combo, which used to cost $5.99 just a few years ago, now regularly exceeds $10 in many states. For working Americans facing inflation and stagnant wages, that's no longer a lunch option, it's a financial decision. Worse, the experience isn't what it used to be. Increasingly, customers are reporting wrong orders, cold food, and lackluster service. Longtime fans are starting to notice that what made Wendy's special, its quality and consistency, just isn't guaranteed anymore. The quirky and clever Twitter account that once brought them viral attention It's no match for real-world disappointment at the drive-thru. While competitors are investing heavily in modern interiors, ordering kiosks, app loyalty programs, and healthier options, Wendy's has lagged behind. Many of its locations still resemble highway rest stops from a decade ago, uninspiring, sterile, and out of sync with what today's consumers expect. And the younger generations, Gen Z and Millennials, are migrating toward brands that feel real, fresh, and customizable. Shake Shack, Five Guys, and even regional players like Whataburger are taking bites out of Wendy's market share. Simply put, fresh, never frozen isn't enough anymore. Wendy's once represented trust, value, and quality without the hype, but now without a bold reinvention, it's at risk of becoming yet another forgotten name in America's fast food graveyard. Let us know in the comments. Have you noticed these changes in your own city? We want to hear your stories.